everybody. Welcome back to the Anti-Media Radio. It's me, Lavonne, live in the Love Lab. Happy to be here with you on this Friday evening. It's July 24th, 2015. We are here on UCY Monday through Friday, very happily, same time, 11 p.m. Eastern Time, 8 p.m. Pacific Time. We do our most to bring you guys real news from around the world. And in honor of Year of Solutions, we've been talking about practical things that you can do to take back your power as a people, more importantly, part of this populace that is one unit. And we're trying to support those who are in line with our mission to empower people to be their best. I'm very happy again to be sharing sacred space with the enchanted gardener, Leslie Goldman, who shares a very crucial string with myself. We are on the same mission, and we're going to be traveling soon, empowering people all over the place towards being sacred seeds. So here's Leslie. How are you doing, Leslie?
So it's called the Pure Food Revolution, and it's September 8th through 10, 2015 in Santa Rosa at the Sonoma Fairgrounds. It's the National Heirloom Expo, hashtag Heirloom Expo, and it's organized by hashtag Rare Seeds, Baker Creek Heirloom Seed Company, with sponsorships from lots of our dear friends, including Dr. Bronner's, who is on site, as well as many other sponsors. So hope to see you at the Sonoma Fairgrounds, September 8th through 10. By way of introducing the show, last week we were looking at the 100-year calendar. It says one of these days, and I just wanted to reflect on where we are in one of these days. By way of introduction, I was at the memorial to Charlotte Tenney on Wednesday. Charlotte was one of the founders of the Trees for Health garden in Balboa Park 20 years ago, and now that is an arboretum, one of the oldest of its kind in Balboa Park, of its kind, where they have 90 healing trees at the Trees for Health garden. And I feel the herbs there and those trees represent a sacred nature's original technology that is reaching out to us right now in one of these days. And I want to point out one of the magical occurrences by way of introduction. So I was there at this memorial, and a gentleman came up to me, who I'm going to allow him to say his name. And by way of introduction, when did you see me last? Sir, what is your name, and tell when you saw me last, and give some reflection.
Some reflection. When I saw Leslie last, my name is Greg, everybody. Hi, all within the sound of my voice, bless you, and thank you for tuning in consciously this evening and intentionally to this program. When I saw you last, let's go to the first time. The first time I saw you, you made an impression on me that lasted until I saw you again 24 years later. But that made me flash back on the first time I was introduced to you, and I believe it was around about 1981 or 82. I think it was early in the springtime of 82, actually. And I remember thinking, my God, what a remarkable person. Well, you struck me as one of the people that somehow I knew that I would know or be familiar with my entire life, even though I had briefly been in your life at the time that I met you the first time. When I ran into you in Balboa Park, however, several days ago, this week, I was hearing the voices of a memorial, and on that particular day, it was a day when I had decided with my higher self that I was not going to have an agenda today. I was not going to have a personal goal or an ambition. I was going to let spirit, the spirit of the living God and goddess, or the earth herself, rather. I was working with Gaia because you see, I grew up in San Diego and hadn't been in Balboa Park in probably at least 24 years. And I was anxious to see how the redwoods were doing in the redwood circle. And I allowed my body to proceed along a path, lamenting what's happened to the redwoods there, and proceeding north along the walk, coming into a memorial for a woman who strangely had affected my life serendipitously when I was probably 8 or 9 years old.
That was Charlotte Kinney, who founded, it was called the Trees for Health Garden, Balboa Park. And it's beautiful to go visit that garden whenever you come to San Diego. It's a real special sanctuary, the Trees for Health Garden.
Okay. So I noticed that one of the people being revered at this gathering of someone that had affected me when I was a child, I looked carefully and I silently mouthed the words, "Leslie, is that you?" And our eyes met, and immediately I saw that there was a spark of recognition of, oh, I do remember you. And we both made it a point to get together because of the remarkable tales of our lives and how they have dovetailed into the same efforts and intentions. And I want to have Leslie share with you a little bit more about that here, if you would, please.
So I had seen you last in 1987 at an event called the Harmonic Convergence, which is one of these days. And we're here tonight to celebrate the birth of one of the babies of 1987 that we were wanting to come and bring some light act into the world. So let's get... We danced for you.
We prayed for you. We knew that you were coming. We knew you would be smarter, faster, better, and stronger, and we would need your help.
All right, so that is, let's give a round to Lavonne, Queen Cat, born in 1987 as we were up at Madre Grande, and one of the queens of anti-media. And listen to this story. I was in a circle, a ritual of the heart at Madre Grande Monastery, and the next day I was on the front page of the San Diego Union. It was so... No, they took a picture of me in one of the things, and we were on the front page of the San Diego Union on talking the story about the harmonic conversion. So on that note, why am I saying this? I'm saying this that those of us listening to the show tonight, we are in a momentous week of history in one of these days, which you can read about on the anti-media website.org. It's a story. Tell us, Lavonne. First of all, congratulations for coming in to be one of the light acts in the world, and we will get to the dark acts because the Tonight Show is about the dark act, which we'll talk a little bit, but mainly I want to talk about the light act. And the light act that Lavonne was brought in, and she's going to give us some of the, as we set out on our journey to win back our sacred seeds, and as the Winning Back Our Sacred Seeds starter kit is being produced by Baker Creek Heirloom Seeds. So you're one of our light acts, Lavonne, and on the Anti-Media Show every Friday night here for an hour, 8 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Let's warmly welcome our anti-media love cat, Lavonne. Okay, so tell me about our upcoming journey and what's our highest aspiration. What is the pure food revolution? Why do we need the pure food revolution? Why do we need it more now in light of what the gentlemen and ladies are doing in Washington to pass laws that pretty much want to restrict GMOs from being labeled. Okay, give us your opening piece, our Lavonne.
Well, that was quite an introduction. I've never been introduced on my own show before. That's a first. So this is breaking the grounds on lots of firsts for us. Leslie and I met at the March Against Monsanto, and it was important foundation um, that day that we established. I feel like it was rain. You know, we're seeds, and we got rain that day, and we were able to shoot down a sprout. So Leslie and I collectively sprouted that day in the same little garden, right? And we realized, like, oh my gosh, we're both growing here in this same space. We should maybe like cohabitat. You know, we should share this habitat and see if we can help each other out. Like plants, people can be companions and they can aid each other in their growth. Um, the thing is Leslie's been planted a long time, and I didn't realize until recently that I'm a sprout. I'm a sprout from you, you know? And Leslie's been fighting for food freedom for decades before I became a me on this plane, which you heard him talking about just a moment ago. And the pure food revolution is really important because it's a montage, it's a melding of the minds um, who are all sprouts that come from the same plant, and we're trying to take root in make tangible what can be rational on the planet. People don't have to go to bed hungry. They don't have to rely on a government to sustain their existence. You don't have to be built upon chemicals and eat food that's grown in malnourished soil. We can rebuild the ecosystem in the dirt at the same time cultivating what's good for us.
So let me ask you a question, Lavonne. Why are you excited about this pure food revolution at the National Heirloom Expo, where about 100 speakers, they can go to um, that URL. You know, just Google National Heirloom Expo. Look at all those speakers, and I'm one of them. Jeremy Seifert, Zen Honeycutt from the Moms Across America, Michael Olson, who does that great show every Saturday. And I'm looking forward, I'm planting a seed that we're going to see anti-media represented at the National Heirloom Expo. And we'll be doing some live interviews and live broadcasts. How do you like that dream? How do you like that? You want to plant that dream, Lavonne?
I do. And that's part of why we're building so much momentum behind this food revolution, is because we have the ability to talk to all of you, and we're so honored that you give us your energy, and we feel privileged to represent you towards your optimal health. And part of doing that is being educated, and not only educated but supported in your knowledge. And this is a convergence of people who share that genuinely in them. And there's going to be lots of exchange of ideas, and a lot of people are going to establish roots like we have. And what's really exciting is that Leslie and I are going to travel there collectively, and we're going to, on the way, find Enchanted Garden Club members. And we're hoping that people will pledge to recognize that they are sacred seeds, living in unison with an ecosystem that's not divided by imaginary borders, but only by our perception of it.
So tell about the Winning Back Our Sacred Seed Starter Kit.
Yeah, this is super exciting, you guys. If you haven't realized, since I've been doing this program for 2 years, I really, really love Baker Creek Heirloom Seed Company. What they do for people is astounding. They have a beautiful collection of heirloom food, which means it's highly nutritious. Not only that, it's contained in those seeds our history. Like, our ancestors ate that food. That's beautiful. So they sponsored Leslie. They made a seed packet times 5,000. And on the front it says Winning Back Sacred Seeds Starter Kit. So you're going to get non-GMO organic kamut, which was a sponsored.
Yeah, that's also
It's an ancient grain, and so we're building a network of people doing righteous things, and we're hoping to perpetuate it. So we're going to give out these seeds so that people can start a garden, because we want you to know that you only need one pot to be a gardener.
Tell about the Plant Your Dream seeds. What's this about Plant Your Dream?
Okay. Yes. Okay. There's.
You were there at the market.
Nick and I. Yeah.
Okay,
Nick and I.
And you saw some of our
Yes.
friends from Dr. Bronner plant their dreams. And what was that like?
Oh my gosh.
So. What is that? What is that?
You always hear people. You always hear people who are connected to the Creator talk about energy and intention, right? You know, and when you set an intention, when you say a word, you're speaking a spell of sorts. Okay? So if you set an intention, the universe always conspires to make it so. So when you plant a seed of intention, there's nothing else that can occur but for it to become tangible. So when you plant a seed, it rains every time.
Do you have any experience?
I literally, you remember that storm that happened in San Diego? You're welcome. I planted seeds right after my show. Leslie and I went outside and we planted our dreams. And then I got to collect tons and tons of rainwater. And I had all my broccoli and pumpkin sprout.
Wait, let's get this clear. After the show
last Friday,
which was called the End of the Monsanto
Into the Monsanto Years, yeah.
My little 1987 harmonic convergence went to the back of the Enchanted Garden Mobile, and you planted some ancient wheat.
I planted ancient wheat a week ago, and then not an hour later, the sky opened up, and hundreds of gallons of water fell.
Okay,
so you are so much more powerful than you are led on to believe. And that's our mission. We want to empower people in knowledge that everybody is a sacred seed. You just don't know what kind of plant you are yet.
So there's somebody,
Greg,
there's a sacred seed jumping up.
Greg's about to lose all of his sprouts. So I'm going to hand over the mic before I have to pick up all of his little seedlings from the ground. Okay, one second.
Here, let me introduce again Mr. Earth Shepherd University. Here he is, the Grand Master of the Earth Shepherd University that you will be reading about one of these days on the 100-year calendar. So let me introduce before he's here. Here he goes. Give us your little pitch there. Tell us why you're jumping up and down.
There's in 3 minutes or less. Oh, first of all, I'm going to add another minute to that to say how overjoyed I am to see and hear and be with this wonderful person that actually I can honestly say we've been waiting about 30,000 years now, just over one precessional cycle for the confluence and the convergence of so many higher intelligences from all over the multiverse here to experience life in a human form at a time when the human beings are ascending from a third dimensional state into a fifth dimensional state. And it's many reasons for that. But tonight I want to dovetail into the story of the seeds that got saved from a fire that burned out and purified, actually, my life, burned out the black mildew and the 8 other unknown pathogenic organisms that were living and growing in the house that actually, quite honestly, needed to be burned down. And nature took its course when ungrounded, faulty electrical wiring was overloaded downstairs and causing the humans, 2 cats, a dog, an unknown number of rats, which may or may not have made it out, termites holding hands, and tree roots standing in the way, holding the hill up, well, till the purifying fire. But I managed to save 38 years of seeds that were heirloom seeds. There was an entheobotanical medicine food collection, some of which is not for general circulation or to be gotten into the hands of children, but most and all of which actually survived the fire. And I got it into the hands of a woman named Mindy Swanson, who's working with the most brilliant kindergartners through fifth graders at my old elementary school, where I actually went to elementary school in San Diego in the 60s, always wanting a garden. Well, the kids have one now, and they're working with algae and fungi and bees and worms and mushrooms and butterflies.
Wait a second. Give us your pep line about the subcultures of algae and all those beautiful.
Oh, okay. Well, okay. Now the thesis. Here,
About why those are
here's
elements that no one knows about. No one knows about those on the Earth. Give us your Earth Stewart pep talk in a minute. Tell me what these subkingdoms.
Oh, well, here.
Tell me what these subkingdoms are and why they excite you.
Oh, well.
What's so important about the mushrooms, the fungi? Go on, tell us.
Oh, what's so important? No algae, no oxygen, no fungi, no topsoil. No oxygen, no topsoil. All the mammals die. So.
You're telling me there's some connection. All these things in nature like have a purpose. That's madness.
Well, not actually. It's pretty ironic, cosmic madness that everything that God created, goddess birthed, has a purpose. So.
No way.
Yeah,
no way. That's madness.
Of course, it's madness. It's divine madness that everything should actually have a purpose. But more than that, antithetical to that is Monsanto, who thinks that by modifying life they can control it, which is that's a mad dream, I think. And likewise, crimes against the earth and humanity have an answer, and our answer to that is to grow our seeds anyway. And Earth Stewart University has a mission to restore our proper relationship and our roles in relationship with creatures that mankind calls sub-creatures and below him. Well, excuse me for noticing that the one-celled creatures have all the power here. And if
one-celled creatures have all the power here, you're talking about
the fungi. Yeah, who steers mycelium might as well be Paul Maudib of Dune right now, because who steers mycelium running is hurting the life force of a world. So here's a clue. Instead of making a poison for it and modifying its genes, put its known preferred form of food in front of it in the direction you want it to go and let it live on the same planet with you, instead of throwing a poison at it that incidentally poisons you too. So we're looking at threats to our light, heat, power, water, food, transportation, communication, education, and entertainment. And entertainment shouldn't even be on the list in my personal opinion. But threats to our continuity and viability as a species have answers, and that's when we take proper care of our planet as the stewards of Earth instead of the owners. Why, there's nothing we can't do, and that may sound crazy, but we love you anyway.
Mr. Earth Stewart University, you sound like you're talking about the pure food revolution, and you're talking about the Light Act. I've been reading about the Dark Act, which is happening, and of course Lavonne's going to talk about that, but I want to talk about, here's something you need to know. Not only was there a Dark Act, but the Light Act is what Greg is pointing out, which is having a little lightness and awareness of these other life forms that are really holding up everything we do. Yes. The fungi that build the immune system, and we're going to be talking about soil and what builds healthy soil a little bit in the program. But here we're going to Lavonne's going to point out about the Dark Act, and then we're going to talk more about the Light Act, which are your tips for winning back your sacred seed and getting the Winning Back Your Sacred Seed starter kit.
Exactly. We want to empower people towards their optimal wellness. Like, that's what we're all about. If you guys want to read along with me or read entirely a really good article that we posted on the antimedia.org, it's by Derek Brose, who's a very conscious writer / existence of light, being of light. It's doing really well. People are really interested in this, which makes me happy. A lot of you guys are sharing it. We really appreciate that. You know, we can't share our knowledge if you don't help us. So thank you for being a part of the solution, Year of Solutions. So Derek wrote yesterday that this past Thursday, the House of Representatives passed a controversial bill that would ban state and local food labeling laws in favor of a federal standard for voluntary labeling of genetically injured foods. In a vote of 275 to 150, the House approved House Resolution 1599, known as the Safe and Accurate Food Labeling Act, to support the DARK, which is Deny Americans the Right to Know Act, before the bill can become a law. So it will need to be approved by the Senate and signed by President Obama. But Agricultural Secretary has supported GE crops in the past. So precisely, this was a quote from a representative who was the author of the bill. He says, his name's, Mike Pompeo. Precisely 0 pieces of credible evidence have been presented that foods produced with biotechnology pose any risk to our health and safety. We should not raise prices on consumers based on the wishes of a handful of activists. So why do you why
the planet a handful of activists?
Why don't you have a right in knowing what's in your food?
Well, that's because corporate academics science is being pursued by these people instead of academic science. It's corporate science. Excuse me. The combined concerned scientists of the earth are not a handful of activists. We're the most informed, intelligent people on the planet, informing you that, well, there's reasons why you're having cancers your doctors can't cure and want to throw $1 million to palliatives at. Because, well, honestly, the business of prolonging your death makes the pharmaceutical corporations that produce all these drugs filthy rich. We have alternatives called real living food.
Exactly. And we're going to get to that point in just a second, the importance of enzymes and things that are alive in cultures as a biological species. You guys, if you guys listen to this program, it's been my greatest honor to teach you about how your body works. And part of being so disconnected from our food is we don't understand how the food affects the machine that is the body. And this DARK Act is stripping your rights away into being in control of what you're made of. It's part of it. And it's a really thorough article. But something to know is that we need to look at our communities, according to Derek, and to ourselves for solutions. And that's the true message of our show tonight. And I wanted to make sure that I credited Derek to saying that because I'm on your team, brother. We've got to support each other. We've got to put our dollars, which are votes. Dollars are votes. You got to put your votes every day, all day, to the farmers markets, to your communities, and to sustaining companies like the ones we tell you about because they're not conglomerates. They're not the man, you know. Everyone says the man. Well, the man's a corporation. And you got to put your votes where they matter. You got to put your energy where it matters. Einstein said E equals MC squared, and he couldn't be more right. It's true. It's cubed. I forgot the cube. But Mr. Greg is literally like a jumping seat yet again. He has a point to make. So please.
Yes, please, thank you.
I'll hold this for you.
Okay, thank you. Love does make the world go round, but until we have a balance of energy exchange with all the other nations on the world, we're still going to be asking those of you that can and those of you that will to please support what resonates in your heart in any means that you can. And did you know that you didn't have to have a PayPal account to send anybody with an email address money? So I'm asking you tonight, if what you've heard here tonight resonates with you, if you want to support this, if you can support this, I'm going to turn into Dennis Bernstein here. Send these folks anything you can, a 1, a 5, a 10, or a 20, or what you will, to Leslie at Rare Seeds or anyone else out there that needs your help. You can send them money without having to have an account.
I don't want to sound like we're selling anything. What's going on is
either. I'm asking for help because I'm looking.
Hold on a second. I need to clarify things because I've never asked my audience for anything like that. That's usually not what we're about.
I'm telling them if they like this to support.
Can you hold on one second, please? Enchanted Garden Club members get these free seed packets, and Leslie sometimes asks for sponsorships to help such things keep their momentum. And Leslie is sponsored already by whom? Like, Leslie, who supports you on your mission? I think that's important in talking about where to put our votes.
Well, some of my sponsors are Dr. Bronner's.
What does Dr. Bronner do?
Okay, Dr. Bronner is one of the great planetary teachers of fair trade versus free trade.
What's fair trade?
Fair trade means you take care of your downline. It's the opposite of what inspired GMOs, which is an effort to beat the system. You see, what people don't realize is the system that works is labor intensive. It involves growing your own food. In other words, as I say, the right to know and the know-how to grow your own food go hand in hand. You see that? That's one of the tips, one of the solutions. And what fair trade means is you take care of your downline. You take care of all the people who are indigenously have not lost their beat with nature, and they're still keeping the beat with nature and with all the other little kingdoms. So Dr. Braun is one of my sponsors, Patricia Bragg. On our trip, I hope we get an opportunity to once again see Patricia at her beautiful organic farm outside of nearby Santa Barbara. She's one of my sponsors, one of my great supporters through Proposition 37. And then, of course, we have so many other ones. The Fry Organic Winery. I'm hoping to stop at different Whole Foods stores, and I'm always looking out, where is the Fry biodynamic and organic wine located at the Whole Foods store shelf, and all the other biodynamic products. Katrina Fry, who helps organize the Fry Winery, she's president of Demeter, which is, of course, the goddess of agriculture. Not only do we have a Department of Agriculture that is in Washington, but we have a goddess of agriculture, Demeter, which is part of the Light Act. So I'm gonna give it back to Lavonne, because we actually have someone in the corner here that's written up in my tips article that I hope everybody will read. Tips for winning back your sacred seed. We have a special guest star who's just jumping up and down in the corner that wants to tell you some things, and I'll introduce her after Lorraine. What other sponsors come to mind? We have Kamut International. We have Baker Creek Heirloom Seed Company, who's organizing the National Heirloom Expo. I'm hoping to visit Amy's. She grows a healthier pizza right outside of a city near Santa Rosa, and they promised me they'd be having their fast food place open. That's Amy's Kitchen. Yeah, right near. It's a town right near Santa Rosa, and yeah, but we're traveling in the 68 VW van, God willing. And yeah, those are the sponsors and the Enchanted Garden members that keep us going. It's Amy's Kitchen, who makes these beautiful foods. And of course, we have our dear friends that are so supportive of the National Heirloom Expo. We have Nature's Path, and Gurdeep Steffens and her dad. And Gurdeep wrote that book, The Earth is Ours. Nature's Path is one of the sponsors of the National Heirloom Expo. And we have a lot of great sponsors up there, including Adam Johnson, who's making the beet kvass and the fermented foods locally in Sonoma County. and my friend Jonathan, who makes that wonderful chocolate. Um, yeah, there's a whole lot of people that we want to support. I call it conscious commerce. With each dollar we spend in the marketplace, we can raise consciousness up $1. Okay, Lavonne.
Just talking to you guys in the chat room. Sorry, we've had some technical issues the last month in my Love Lab. So we want to make sure that we're coming across and being heard not too loud or not too soft, but right in the Goldilocks zone. So we'll try not to yell at you guys, okay? If we're yelling at you, just let us know. Apologies. So a few of you are asking if you can call in. Yeah, please call in. You guys know the number. It's 1-718-717-8296. We'd love to hear from you. We've got some really awesome ideas in regards to winning back your sacred seeds, which they are. Last week on the show, we talked about tips. And Leslie introduced who he calls Keep the Beat. And it's one of the campaigns that Leslie's been working on a long time. And basically, Keep the Beat is a media star, and she's a talking beet plant. It's true. You can look her up on Google. She's famous. So she's here in my Love Lab, and this is the second time she's visited me here, and I'm kind of like in a little celebrity shock, because it's kind of amazing what Keep the Beat does. You plant her in one pot. She makes you a gardener like that, and you can keep this beet in this pot. You just water it, right? It's so miraculous. It grows greens. You can juice them, you can saute them, you can eat them raw. They're super healthy, full of lots of nutritious things that your body needs. Believe it or not, you need food to make cellular actions occur. It's part of the fuel. Food equals fuel.
That beet has every trace mineral on the planet. That beet, it's a lovely specimen. She's a mother clump of a beet with many babies coming off of her, sitting in this probably 3-gallon pot, committing senseless acts of beauty and random acts of kindness just by being there. And every trace mineral you could ever want or need is in this particular plant. She's amazing.
Do you think we can take a little short Instagram of Keep the Beat?
Yeah, we're gonna make a little video for you guys. But what's really neat and what's really powerful in our message towards empowering you guys as seeds is that, like these seeds, and you can flourish and be perpetual. And I'm gonna show you guys this beet. It's literally perpetual.
It came from Wild Willow Farm.
Came from Wild Willow Farms, and Leslie has it in one pot, and it's sprouting tons and tons of shoots. And what's really neat is it's massive, and you can eat the greens. You cut them. And what type of plant is this, Leslie? Is it an annual, perennial? What do those words mean?
Perennialized.
Well, what do those words mean for people who have naive ears in those regards to those terms?
Okay, so this beet is one of the 3 plants that I suggest that can make you an enchanted gardener. So what you do is you take a beet, you get it, the freshest, most beautiful beet you could find, hopefully from an organic farmer. You you eat the greens, and then I recommend the finest soil you can get. Fox Farm is a good one, and this will keep growing greens, and you keep eating the greens, and attach your dreams to the beet. The difference between the kind of gardening I do and what's normal is, my whole philosophy of gardening is you plant your dream. And if you look at my blog, Plant Your Dream on CureZone, or Plant Your Dream WordPress, where you could see all my sponsors, you can see well, you could actually come and see Keep the Beat because she's traveling in the Enchanted Garden Mobile from San Diego to Santa Rosa. And I want to ask everybody to give us your good thoughts because it's quite a journey of faith to take a 68 VW van on the road. She just got detailed today by Bumper Authority in San Diego. In the Enchanted Garden Mobile from San Diego to...
Sorry, play back of the video there.
All right. Well, that's the story of Keep the Beat. So just start your own beat, and just remember, as Lorraine will say.
Oh,
Lavonne.
Oh, I've never been home.
Well, Lorraine was my other East Coast sponsor. What does that say? One beat,
many pulses.
So yeah, that's the message of the beat. One beat, many pulses, and as Greg told us, it has every trace mineral that your body could need.
And what's that? Beatkeepers.
Beatkeepers return. So thanks for starring. He's giving me. Thanks for starring in my Rock Your Soul opera called. Okay, that's. I don't like reading scripts. That's not my style. Anti-Lavonne style there. I don't do it. But beat has a message, and I hope you guys heard it. You didn't touch on perennials and annuals. What do those words mean, and which one of those does the beat fall under? Do you want to tell us, Greg?
Well, an annual. Okay. An annual comes and goes in 1 year and does not grow back from a living root. A perennial. Now there's a thing called a biennial, which grows up leafy matter during the first year, and in the second year throws up a flower head. And a biannual may or may not become a perennial, which is usually grows back every year unless there's a freeze or hard frost. And sometimes just the top is frozen off, but the root can surprise you and come back, especially if it's been covered by lots of earth or organic matter. So an annual means yearly, and it will make a seed for next year if it's been fertilized. A biennial will make a flower head and a seed in the second year, and a perennial will do that every year after the second year, developing a woody mass at the base of its, much like lavender is a perennial, rosemary is a perennial, calendulas, while annuals sow themselves so freely that they're one of those beauty plants that you can eat along with daylilies, hemerocallis. In fact, there's a lot of foods that people who don't know any better call weeds. But what you can do with the beet, you can also do with the carrot and the celery. Anything that has that base of living matter at the bottom. So you can eat half of your beet and the tops and put the top half of the bottom of what's left of your beet halfway into soil. And I like Fox Farm too, but we make our own soils using mushrooms and cardboard. And that's just one of the things that Earth Stewardship University will attempt to do basically for every problem mankind has created for ourselves and womankind. There's a mushroom that will help and is helping at the moment. If your problem is petroleum distillates, oil and gasoline, and any fraction of fractac to cracked crude petroleum can produce, oyster mushrooms, Pleurotus austratus. Thank you, Paul Stamets, by the way. And a big shout out to Fungi Perfecti and all of those listeners that were invited to this, and those who will make it into the archives, not being able to listen live. It is for you that we speak. This young lady, Lavonne, is absolutely remarkable and tirelessly and selflessly, while being a brave woman alive on Earth, taking care of children and cats and a lovely garden. I don't know, are we getting a call? Oh, here.
Hey, you're live on the radio. What's your name?
Hey, Chris from Canada.
Hey, Chris from Canada. Thanks for calling us. So nice to hear from you. What do you want to talk about?
Well, you're talking about gardens. I started one about 4 years ago in my backyard. Very small backyard, so I've got about a 10 by 12 garden. I had very, very good success with it for the first couple of years, but it's just become overridden with weeds to the point where I had to take a shovel to chop them out. and I don't know how to contain them properly. If there's any suggestions besides, that Monsanto spray.
We wouldn't suggest that. First of all, it's against our beliefs.
And well, golly gee, you raise a good point. To the cotton farmer, a rose plant is a weed, and anything that you don't want that's a plant growing somewhere seems kind of like rather willful of nature, doesn't it? Some people learn to figure out that maybe that thing called a weed is edible, and maybe there's a creature that will eat it, including ourselves. But sometimes, it comes down to, do you want to pull it out by hand? Do you want to figure out if it might have a use that you haven't discovered or a value that you may have overlooked? In any case, do you have any idea what it is that you're calling a weed there?
No, but they grew to be. I let it go because I work for a living. So I'm out all day.
All right.
And I don't have a lot of time.
Okay.
To tend to it as much as I should.
Well,
but they grew to be about 6 feet high before I had to chop them down. And I used a shovel, and I didn't even take out the roots yet. I've just taken them down just because they got really big and started to seed.
Gotcha.
And I got a strawberry bush that used to produce for 2 years, produced tremendous amounts of strawberries, and this year, mind you, the birds and the rabbits probably had something to do with it, but I didn't even get a quart of strawberries this year. But the previous 2 years, I made jam for a year in each previous year. So even the strawberries didn't do too well this year. So I don't know. I don't know what I'm doing wrong.
I would highly recommend companion planting, and that's the best way to nurture nature, is support its natural ecosystem, which is part of our message. So for whatever particular vegetables or flowers you're trying to grow in your region, look up its companion plants. And in lieu of what you call the Monsanto solution, I highly recommend a homemade solution, which is water, Dr. Bronner's soap, and neem oil. So neem is a plant. It's a repellent. And the soap binds the water and the neem oil, because oil and water don't mix, right? But if you add Dr. Bronner's soap, which is all natural, good for you and the planet and your plants, you make a solution, and the soap basically acts as a, what is the word I'm looking for? It suspends the particles. So it makes it stick to your plants too. So it's effective and it's not poison. What an idea. So the tips I have are companion planting and neem oil, and figure out what you're calling weeds, because there's something called a stinging nettle that grows naturally in my area that is highly revered as medicine for a long time, and everything from quote unquote PMS symptoms to headache, and you can ingest it by making a tea. You can also put it on wounds, like
specific for poison.
it's Pacific oil, yeah, and it's got so many benefits to your immune system, which we're all born with. So
there
that's
is
just
actually such a thing as a good weed.
Yes, that's what we're telling
besides
you.
pot.
Yes, there's everything, especially cannabis. It's highly medicinal, right? And the Anti-Media just published an article. Science supports that cannabis helps bones heal themselves. So that's really awesome. We're getting somebody else calling us in, you guys. And so check out those things, Chris from Canada, okay? Thank you so much. I'm going to keep you on the line. Let me add someone else to our group here.
Yep.
Hi there. Thanks for joining, Chris, Leslie, Greg, and I. Who are you? Oh, I'm sorry.
I'm Mike.
Keep the beats here, too, Mike. We can't forget her. So what's going on? What do you want to talk about, Mike?
I wanted to tell you the solution to the guy's strawberry problem.
Ooh, tell us. Go.
Okay. The thing is strawberry beds need to be replanted every 2 years.
Bingo.
For some reason, they only produce from the new stolons, the new little rootlets that come out every year.
Uh-huh.
And the plant seems to be tired after a couple years. So standard in the strawberry business is you pull out the old plants and you replant with the new little runners
Okay.
that come off of them.
Yeah, they're babies.
So that's just natural.
Mike, that's awesome. This is my first time growing strawberries. I've only been growing strawberries for like a month, so I didn't know the answer to that. So that's really good knowledge to know.
Well, I just thought I'd let you know. That's nothing abnormal. It's what they fight with, and that's why strawberries are expensive. And that's why your grandma had the strawberry tear and patch, and you spent a lot of time pulling grass out and replanted stolons and take the old plant that doesn't work out and replant with one of the little new ones off of a runner. And then you'll get a good strawberry patch.
Awesome. Well, I'm glad that you guys have an interest in gardening. That's actually a nice segue into how we wanted to end the show. We're getting close to the end here, but we've got something really special to share with you guys. I'm going to
Have a great night.
Yeah, you too. I'm going to challenge
Thanks,
you guys
Mike.
not to get goosebumps while I read this, okay? We're going to add someone to the call to listen in. Hi there, you're with the Anti-Media. This is Lavonne. How is it going?
Good day, Lavonne. It's Mo.
Hey, Mo, I'm just getting ready to read to everybody the beautiful words in regards to how to become an Enchanted Gardening Club member. So you want to try not to get chills with us as we listen to them?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. So check it out. O patient Mother Earth, let us walk together more closely. I accept your fulfillment as a byproduct of my own fertile, deep dreams flowering. Remind me that all natural things on earth grow from seeds. Open in me the wisdom contained in a tiny seed, that I might too experience how dreams grow naturally. The enchanted garden, a name for the new earth growing through me, starts here and now. So this is what we said with intention after we planted seeds. Mo, do you remember? You were there last Friday, a week ago. We planted seeds and we said this. And then what happened?
Yeah, that was a miracle right there. That was
what happened,
one of the only miracles I witnessed in my lifetime.
But why was it a miracle?
Following morning, I didn't think it was serious. It rained.
It rained, and
that was amazing.
It didn't rain. It flooded. We broke a bridge.
It flooded, yeah.
Yeah, they're like a really important bridge that connects our city. I mean, it was the universe conspires to will your words. So thank you guys for listening to all of our words tonight. We've got so many callers. Did everyone get a chance to say what they needed to say? Mo, why did you call in this evening?
Well, I definitely wanted to support your radio show. Last week was the first time I really got to hear it, and I really support everything you're saying and all the different subjects you guys hit. It's definitely interesting to hear and to know that the movement is there and it's growing every second.
Well, thank you.
Personally, our directory has grown so much in the past week alone that we're just we're boggled by all this this spreading of this amazing wisdom about what's going down and what we need to do to change it.
Well, we're all seeds, Mo, and thank you for joining us in our mission. Leslie's got some words.
So we're about to close out the show, and I know it can be disheartening when you hear what the handful of people are doing in Washington that we thought would be representing us. But who do we represent? We represent the love of nature. We represent the beat of nature. We represent the Light Act. So rather than be disheartened by Keep the Beat and her Rock Your Soul opera, just do what you can to educate these sweet people in Washington that appreciate abundance. But you and I know where the real wealth is. The real wealth is in seeds and the wisdom to learn to grow them. So I want to encourage you to keep up your light act. And that, my friend, is the solution to our response to the dark act. Leslie Goldman, your enchanted gardener.
And this is Greg saying, present yourself. You require no representation. You can and are recognized here as the presenters of your living presence, and never forget to present yourself. You can do this.
So many inspiring words this evening. So you guys check out theantimedia.org. Please read about the Dark Act. It's really important. We published that article yesterday. People are sharing it like sliced bread. It's like a huge. It's important. Make sure you spread the word. Also check out the Pure Food Revolution. Leslie and I are going to be traveling there soon and giving out sacred seed starter kits along the way. So we want to meet you guys. We want to change your perspectives and teach you how to be an enchanted gardener. So have a beautiful week, you guys. For those who called us, we thank you so much in sharing your thoughts. We learned a really cool thing about strawberries tonight. Everybody in the chat room was really supportive. So if you didn't know, you got to replant your strawberries every 2 years. And make sure that you guys support your local farmers and fair trade companies like the Dr. Bronner's, the Bragg's, Baker Creek Heirlooms, supporting lots of people in the community, not just Leslie. And it's important because people are riding this momentum of awakening, and they're making this the true year of solutions. And the only way we're going to keep getting our power back is by supporting each other. So this is like the longest minute ever in recorded history. So I'm going to read to you guys Sacred Seed. Sacred seed, sacred plant, I hold you in my hands, and I hold you as my future. Thank you for representing wishes I am planting. As you grow, so will my sacred dreams.
I'ma let them know through the stereo. Yo, here we go through the stereo.